Hi, good evening, everyone. How have you been doing? Hope your weekend was good, and we are quite excited to come your way again for another episode. That's our third episode for Biz Bites, and we are looking forward to have an excellent show today as well. Well, the past has been quite an interesting journey so far, and like we always say, you're not always going to get everything perfectly in place before you start. You've got to make a jump at some point, and that's what we'll be trying to do. So we are hoping that today's episode will go smoothly as we expect, and we trust that you greatly benefit from what we have to share today. So hope wherever you are joining from, we challenge you to connect with us, okay? And let us know where you are connecting with us from, and we are looking forward to listening to your questions and hopefully address them as we go along. And whichever ones we are unable to address, we'll look at them next week. Okay, so thank you so much once again for coming, joining us tonight. My name is Victor Kwejiri. I'm your business coach and consultant. I do one-on-one business coaching and consulting, and I help clients who want to start up their business, basically help from developing the concept into an idea, exactly where to start from, what legal options, legal structure options they have available, and the marketing strategy and all the various aspects of it. I also offer coaching one-to-one over a period, so for about 3 months I could be coaching you. And we also help clients to find funding, those who need funding as well. As long as you've got a very solid business plan, if you don't have it, we can help you to develop one and help you to find funding. And I'm also the founder of Vice Springs Publishing Limited, a publishing and a printing business, and we are more than glad to help you to publish your books. I'm an author of 5 books myself, and we've helped other people also publish their books. Hey, if you are interested, you want to publish your book, or you got some printing jobs or some booklets or brochures you want us to help you with, we are more than glad to do it, and we'll see how we go. This is my colleague Rex. Now, give it over to him now.
Thank you, Victor. All right. My name is Rex Fitzam. Some call me just Rex, and I support businesses, communities, and individuals in 3 distinct ways. As a value management consultant and also a business strategy and systems consultant, I help businesses to create value and opportunities for themselves. I'm also into social media, and I'm a brand and digital marketing consultant, and there I try to help organizations create digital opportunities which are quite different and also improve their brand experience as well. I'm also a leadership coach and also a speaker. I trust that tonight we're going to have a great time together. For those of you who've missed early episodes of our program, what we typically do is explain what the Biz Bites really is. Yes. And then we go on to tell you the format of it, and then we do a recap of the previous events before we get into our main thing. This is our 3rd episode. The first episode we talked about mindset, and then we went to look on what is a successful mindset, or the mindset for running a successful business. But let me tell you a little bit about Biz Bites though. Biz Bites actually is supposed to share insightful business tips to help you on your entrepreneurial journey. For those of you who are contemplating starting a business, I know for myself, I used to procrastinate for quite a while, and I wish I had the type of tips that we are sharing and we will be sharing on this program to have guided me. At the time, you could only go to a bank and get advice from a business advisor. Apart from that, we also help those in existing businesses by sharing business strategies that can actually assist them to build up and improve or enhance their current businesses.
Yes.
We also want to acknowledge those who join us by sharing or answering their questions. So the pertinent questions you ask, we also answer them. The beauty of Biz Bites is that we try to do things in bite sizes, so we don't give you more than enough, too much to chew at any particular episode. Thank you.
Great. All right. Okay. So today, what we're going to be doing is literally talk about what do you call it? Change, right? But before we do that, we want to do a quick recap of what we did last week. So can you please give us a quick recap?
Yes,
of what we did
last week we were looking at what makes us, and for those of you who ask questions, we will be coming to your questions as well. What's the mindset for running a successful business or growing a current business? And we did look at a number of interesting points there when we did discuss that. One of the things that we talked about things like proactivity. We talked about tenacity and doggedness. Those were important points as well. I know we went on to look at things like value orientation. We looked at servant, I like the way you put it, chief servant.
Chief servant.
Chief servant was an amazing point that you put across there. And then I know we had two other points that we talked about there when we looked at that. I know I'm trying to recollect off the top of my head. Experimentation, yes. Experimentation and innovation, yes. That was also one of the things we talked about as well. Yes. Right. Okay. Victor?
I think we had a couple of questions. Yes. And one of them was, as an aspiring entrepreneur, how will the concept of chief servant apply to me? Well, I think that is quite an interesting one. I guess the concept of chief servant is all about the fact that the customer is a king, and you see yourself as being in business to be able to serve the customer's needs. So it's very important that your focus, which means that your entire orientation in being in business is all about the customer. Because at the end of the day, if the customer doesn't buy from you, you don't have business. All right, business is supposed to be delivering something of value, something that meets somebody's needs, solves somebody's problem, and you get paid for it. Okay, in solving problems, you get paid for it. So your mindset and your whole disposition is supposed to be the fact that, hey, I am here to serve. So basically, I know we all talk about going into business for yourself and you are your own boss and stuff, which is great. But the most important thing that you have to always put at the back of your mind, that I am here to serve. So I'm the chief servant. Now, if you're the chief servant, irrespective of the fact that you're the organization, the one who founded the business, and you've got employees there, you still want to focus and also have that mindset to help you be able to set an example for even your employees to follow. So you don't come around throwing yourself, bossing yourself, I'm the boss. But the fact that, hey, I'm here to serve. So if there's anything to be done, you want to be the first. Yes, everybody has got their duties, but you want to be the first to show forth that you are really in to serve customers. And that even helps in how you address customers, and stuff. And I think the second question was, how do you know that you are offering your customer what?
Value.
Value. And I think for that, in answer to that, as long as you are meeting your customers' needs.
That's right.
Okay? And I always say this, there's an aspect of business which is, I offer the service or I offer the product, you pay me for it. But beyond that, there are so many other aspects of it, which is where you can take advantage of what you know, okay, and what your thinking is and your understanding of the issue or the concept of value to help you to go beyond just the exchange of goods and services and somebody's money. So, for instance, if you are selling a particular product, you want to look at, okay, how can I do something that will make my clients experience more than just me giving them the service or giving them the product and getting their money. Okay, so you want your customer services comes into play here. Okay, how you interact with your customers, how even you help them. We even raise the issue of if somebody comes to you and you don't have that particular product, will you refer them to your competitor? A value-minded person will do that, because then you are letting your customer, you are interested in that customer's need, not just so you are not just in just so selfishly for yourself, because you are there to serve the customer. So basically, the chief servant to connect with delivering value. So that's very, very important for us to really look at in going forward from here.
Right, okay. Now, having answered those questions, obviously, I'm sure there may have been more questions people will bring in. Please keep asking your questions. I know we did say that ask questions that are relevant to a particular episode, but it's okay to still ask questions if it's linked to something important from what we talked about before. Still ask it and we'll still find a way of accommodating.
Exactly.
And also, even when you watch the video after today, you can still ask your questions.
Yeah.
Don't just do it when we were on the live show. Still ask your questions. You can send them by email, like we said, to bizbytes4u4 and the letter u at gmail.com as well. So please do that.
Great.
Right. I want to throw a different question today, because we are building up, as you can see, from mindset and looking at the mindset for business. Today we are coming to a very important area, but I want to start with you. what does change mean to you?
Mm.
And not just what it means to you, but when you think of change, why do we need change? Please start dropping us a couple of lines on Facebook Live, and then we will also be able to share our bit. But please send us your bit so I know you're engaging with us as well. Again, like Victor said, let us know exactly where you are writing from.
Yeah,
I thank you very much. And also, maybe you can also share your own experience. It'd be great for you to share your experience with also some of our customers, our audience as well. Right. So, Victor, I think I'm going to ask you, what is change where you're concerned?
Well, change to me is basically to make something different or to offer something different. And if I want to really expand on that, it's all about change. Is about desiring a different outcome, and that causes you or kind of inspires you, to do something to be able to look at how you are going to make sure that that outcome is realized.
That's right.
Okay, so the question is, what are you going to do? What are you going to effect? What are you going to change? Or what are you going to put in place to make sure that that desired outcome comes into play? Because unless you have a desired outcome, there's no need for a change.
Right.
Okay, so change is basically desiring something, knowing that where you are right now doesn't meet a particular need or doesn't reach that particular level, what you are desiring for. So you put in an effort to translate the desire into reality. Okay, so that's basically how I see what change is.
I think what you said encapsulates everything, but maybe just to add from our own viewpoint, I always see change as a process.
Okay.
I mean, moving you from an undesired position to a more attractive position. It could be in any area, not just in business, but of course our remit is business here. And one of the important things about it is that you've got to come to a realization that you need change.
Exactly.
It's good for circumstance to move you, but it's good for yourself that you recognize change, particularly in the area of maybe motivating you to move forward. So it's sometimes an internal motivation to do better with yourself. Sometimes what I do is I get angry with myself because of certain outcomes, and that's what we all expect it to be. It's supposed to be a learning experience.
Yeah.
But then, of course, there are times when change comes about because you are driven by positive external or negative external factors.
Yeah.
It can push you. Companies do the same thing. They've got to change their methods. Maybe look into a new customer base. They're going abroad. You don't treat them the same way you would treat maybe Brit customers, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And then also the fact that change sometimes can be radical. Not often, but sometimes can be radical, or some people may say even overnight, because you're just forced to make that change. But then there's also the more gradual process that you would find with change as well.
Okay. Great. All right. So basically, just follow up from there. Why don't you just share with us why there's a need for change, or why people think that, or why people get into change? Can you just share that with us, please?
As I'm sharing mine, please send in your answers as well so we can look at it. Yes. Why change? Wow, that's an interesting one. Why do people need change? Because the truth of the matter is that if you do not change, you will not get certain outcomes in your life.
Exactly.
Okay, and for me, change is important because until you, like I said before, until you come to that realization of what change is, you're never able to make progress because it's an aspect of life. Change is not normal for anybody. Resistance is normal. But we want to be able to move away from a particular scenario into a better one. And that's what change really brings about in each of us, our lives.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So I guess from what we've understood now, why the need for change and stuff. But then one thing we also acknowledge the fact that change is something that it requires something.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Change is, you cannot just effect change just like that. It comes with something. Okay. Everything you want to do in life comes at a price. Okay. It comes some form of price. So the question is, what does change require? And change requires a number of things. One of the first and foremost is that change you must initiate it. There's an old saying that you can take the horse to a river, but you cannot force the horse to drink the water. So if you let's use an analogy. If you are the horse then when we take you to a river, you have got to initiate. Either you want to lap it or you want to scoop it. Whichever way you want to do it, the water must get into your mouth. Okay, so you have got to initiate it. So change requires that you initiate it yourself. We can right now, for instance, we talk to you as we go about talking about the business one. We can explain to you, show you why the need for it and everything. But from there, you have got to take it out and move on from there. Change works if you have the will. You need to have the will.
Yeah, that's critical.
Unless you are willing to do it, I'm sorry, it won't happen. Okay? Because change is costly. Change is costly. Alright? It might require you, maybe if you're a business person, it might require you investing in some training. It might require you buying some products, enhance your way of doing business. It might require you buying some software. It might require you bringing us experts in to show you certain things. So change is costly. Okay? Change is also time consuming. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. So change requires that you have this mindset that, hey, if I'm going to make these changes happen, then it will cost me. It will take some time of me. It will demand that I need to spend extra time. For instance, if you are a business owner and you want to improve on your management system or your management abilities, then you want to look upon potential maybe enrolling some courses. Okay, we offer business skills training courses, for instance. You might want to bring us in to train, which means that maybe you might have to do your normal job during the day, and in the evening we have a bit of classes time and stuff that requires some cost. Okay, change is uncomfortable. As the example we've just already given, it's uncomfortable. It requires to bring some discomfort. Okay, and change must be adaptable. If you are going to change, you must be willing to be able to adapt. Because once you change from point 1 to point 2, there must be some shifting, and that will require that it must be adaptable. And change must have a plan. I'm not just going, I want to change to become a multi-million pound business, or I want to change to have a turnover of maybe $20,000 every quarter. Okay, $250,000 or £250,000 every quarter or something like that. It's not just going to happen. You've got to have to plan towards it. You've got to have to plan. The plan is going to affect your sales team and everything. Change must be achievable. You don't just set up some kind of a ridiculous yardstick and standards that will be very so difficult for you to get to. And change must be measured. Okay, you must be able to measure. You cannot just say, I want to change to become this. There must be, if it's figures, and oftentimes in business, one of the ways of measuring our effectiveness is using figures, ratios, all those type of things. So you need to really come to it. So change requires something, and therefore, if you want to go into change, and we are talking about the power of change, don't forget, we are talking about the power of change, and we'll be linking it up directly with how it impacts your business as a business person, both yourself as well as your business. So please stay with us and stay tuned. It's all about success, helping you to grow, to become more successful in your business. Okay? So please share with us your next point, please.
Right. I mean, looking at this now, one of the things that we want to look at is what change actually does. We were discussing amongst ourselves, because the term sounded so good, power of change. And I realized that, the power is an ability or force to do something. You know, and so what is it? I mean, and I was debating, I mean, if I had to share only two things, which I'm going to do tonight, what would they be? And the first is that change creates learning opportunities.
Yes, exactly.
It's amazing that people, if you follow us with us from when we talk about the mindset, people want to stay in one place. They don't want to try. You never try something different. So it creates learning opportunities. And frankly, the learning opportunities themselves lead to a broader perspective of things. You have a broader view of things because you've had an experience, whether good or bad, of something, and that in itself should be able to help you. You know, and once you've been able to do that, it helps you to break out of a particular mold, and that's what it is. Your own mold, not somebody else's. Just you. Think about the process of becoming a butterfly, from the whole thing of the cocoon and everything until it. Now imagine you deciding to stay in only one place and not going through the pressure of being translated or transformed into the next stage. And that's what change is. Change brings transformation. So important for each one of us. Change brings transformation. I like something leadership coach and pastor Matthew Ashimolo said. He said, when you think about what change can do in terms of perspective, he said, what you can't perceive, you can't conceive, and what you can't conceive, you cannot receive.
Okay. Okay. Great. All right. Okay. So one other very important thing that change also does is that if you really, and I mean really, want to increase productivity in your business, then you've got to be willing to change. Okay? Most people are talking about, I want to increase my business, I want to grow my business. But honestly, you cannot do the same thing and expect the change to happen.
That's right.
Okay? If you want to increase productivity, so change will help you to increase your productivity. So if you're not comfortable with change, then basically you are putting limits on your ability to produce. Okay? So productivity is all about the measure of efficiency of production. That's what productivity is all about. And this is what Winston Churchill said. He said that to improve is to change. To be perfect is to change often. Not even one time. To be perfect is to change often. And if you look at it, businesses keep on changing every day. I mean, let's look at just basic mobile phones and technology.
That's right.
We have iPhone 7, iPhone 8, Samsung 7, Samsung 8. Every time there's an improvement in it. Right. Okay? So it is important. And the truth is that high productivity can lead to greater profits for your business and greater income for the individuals. Above all, society benefits from it because then you're able to produce better things that solves customers' problem and increasingly make life easier and easier for your customers and your clients as well. So if you really want to grow your business, you've got to adapt and embrace the power of change. The power of change. These are just bites.
That's right.
Okay? But there are mediums by which we'll be sharing deeper and more detailed information. But we want to challenge you. The power of change is very crucial in your ability to grow your business.
Wow, I like that.
Yeah.
Let me come to my next point, which is looking at what else does change do? Change brings about distinctive advantage. Now, without going into all the things that people will teach and talk about and everything else, we can do change by, you can run a business by shaving off on pricing.
Yeah.
Timings and all that, but there's something about a distinct advantage. In other words, you stand out from the rest. There's something different about it. That's where trailblazers are born from. That's where you get people who we call first mover, have a first mover advantage, because they're able to see something that others haven't seen. And again, you are part of a pack. Breaking out is not so easy all the time, but somebody finds an ability, either a synergistic thing, excuse me, by themselves or with other people to be able to move that process forward. You know, and the great thing about it is that if you are able to bring about that change, you become outstanding.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Okay. So today, my final point will be the fact that change enables you to achieve your set goals. If you have any set goal, I mean, we all do this funny thing where we say that beginning of the year, we plan for the year, New Year resolutions and stuff. And anyone who is serious with that will tell you that if you want, for instance, to shave off some weight, you got to change something. Change either your dieting, your waking up time, your sleeping time, what you eat, and how you exercise. So change is here with us, unless you don't want to make any impact in life or you don't want to improve on anything. But as long as you believe that you've got the capacity to improve, you have the willingness to improve, then you have got to be willing to change. So change is the ultimate thing that should be able to help you be able to achieve your goals. If you don't have change, you can have all the plans. If you're not willing to change, there's no way you're going to be able to achieve any goals. You can have every plan, okay? And I like what George Bernard Shaw said. He said that progress is impossible without change. Progress is impossible without change. And those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. And the change we are talking about here largely is in your mind. The power of change is so crucial. And until you change, the result will always be the same. Okay?
Amazing.
So it's very, very important. And change will not come if we wait for, that's what Barack Obama said. Change will not come if we wait for some other people or other times to do it. We are the ones who have the responsibility. We change what we see.
Awesome.
All right. So it's very, very important that you adapt this subject of change and really work on it to make sure that you make the desired impact that as we all say we want to do.
Right. Okay.
Good.
Well, I mean, it's important. Just to recap for all of us here, we've started looking at the power. We looked at the power of change, and we will say something about it next week again as it applies to business. Exactly. So, what did we look at? We looked at what change really is, and you can define it in a number of different ways. Somebody say moving from one form into another. That's part of change as well. And then we also looked at why do we need to change, and we recognize the fact that if you don't move from a particular place, you're going to stay, and you can't, like Einstein said, you can't expect different results when you don't try things different, you know. So it's important that we look at that aspect as well. And of course, Victor looked at the requirements for change. You know, what does change require? And there's so many important points that he mentioned there. I know if I'd given him an hour, he would have said a lot more. But I know how you're passionate about the subject. I know we've been talking about it and all that. And then, of course, we came to look at just 4 points today, looking at what change can do for you, creating learning opportunities, like I said there, and then obviously what Victor was sharing as well. I mean, the different points there. If you didn't get any of the 4 points, you can watch the video again. But then I know we talked about productivity. Productivity was one of the points that we looked at. I myself and how to achieve your goal. I like the thing about productivity though, because like you're talking about productivity, I was thinking about the fact that people continuous improvement and wanting excellence. The good is not enough, you know, or like they say, good is enemy of the best. So you want to be able to take it a step further each time, you know. Exactly. And so looking at that is important as well. Of course, then we went on to look at the distinctive advantage as well. And then we talked about our last point there, which was the 4th one. Right. Okay. So Victor, over to you.
Yeah, we've come to the end of this episode of Base Bites, and we really hope that you have gotten a few bites here and there of some great tips that could help you to be able to improve and something to think about for the next week. As we come here, we are going to be applying this practically to business. Okay, every subject we take, we try to give you the general information about it, give you kind of better understanding of it, and now we see how we apply it to business, because each one of them has impact on our business and how we perform, how we become successful. So we challenge you to watch the previous episode. Just go on YouTube, okay? Base Bites for you. Right. On YouTube, you find us there. The link is there. You can just watch all the past episodes, or you can flow with us, and send in your questions to our email or to inbox us on the Facebook platform. Email us basebytesforyou@gmail.com, and also like our page, invite others, and make a date with us again next week, 8 p.m. on the dot. Building from proactive, innovative, and we'll be taking change and its impact on business. Okay, and just quickly to run up there, remember, we are always ready to help you.
That's right.
Your business review, business skills training. Okay, if you want us to come in to help you, to train you to become better, to be able to effect the change that you desire, we are there to help you. We have a combination, a cumulative work experience of 50 years of working in various fields and various sectors across the continent. Okay, so we challenge you. Engage with us. We are glad when you are successful. We are very happy. All right. So invite us in. Let us help you to review your business. We are not just going to review. We'll give you a report and give you strategic ways to be able to take it forward to the next level. Okay. So connect with us. Make a deal with us. And if you want us coming to speak to your group about how to start businesses, how to identify opportunities, train people on leadership, we are ever ready to do that. Work with you to do that. We can always come up with topics that really relate to your own set of people, and we are more than willing to help. And one-on-one coaching, both of us can do one-on-one coaching with any one of us. Social media experts, marketing, media. I am there. Startups, helping people to find funding and all those things. So, hey, it's always great to come your way again. We want to do this more and more and more, and we want to believe that you are connecting with us, you are joining in, and you are benefiting from it. So thank you once again for allowing us to come your way again, and we look forward to come your way again next Monday exactly at 8 p.m. here on FB Live or on YouTube. You get the recorded version uploaded there for you.
Awesome.
Great.
Well, thanks for joining us today, and Victor said it all in the end there. So we hope you had a great time with us. Please keep connecting with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.